to put across?
Well, yes, things have changed a lot since the days I worked for the BBC. I think we were much more investigative, whether it's to do with money or some kind of ethos coming from above. I actually don't know, but we would have been straight down to investigating all sorts of things. We don't take anything on trust. You wonder why these PCR tests are, so many people are saying they're flawed. You'd look at them, you'd look at the way they're run, you'd look at the way they're funded. You'd be a bit shocked to find that they're not NHS tests at all. It's privatised. So who is Serco? What's in it? Who makes up Serco, this company that runs the tests? Why are they flawed? Who is saying they're flawed? And in what way are they flawed? And how might that skew the results? That's one investigation. I'd like to investigate who SAGE are, who's on SAGE, who are these people? I gather they chop and change. It's not the same people on the committee all the time. So I'd like to know who they are. PHE, what is PHE? Who's on that and how is that funded? And I thought the government had announced that they weren't going to be talking to PHE anymore, but Chris Whitty and Patrick Vallance are up there on the press conferences, so presumably they are still talking to PHE. But that's the sort of thing that I'd like to investigate. I'd like to look into all the figures. I'd like to investigate the legalities of everything. I did present a programme called Out of Court for BBC Two for 5 years, and we'd have been all over the legalities of these restrictions that are being imposed on people, the lockdowns, the fines of £4,000, which are an untenable amount of money to fine people. The lack of democracy, how can these things be the law when there's been no democratic way of ratifying them? All the people who represent us, the MPs, what do our MPs think? I mean, I'd like to go out and talk to the MPs and find out what they think, get them on, but you don't see them platformed. I think that's another thing that annoys me about the BBC is the people they choose to platform and the people they don't. So I've seen on Twitter and on various other media some really interesting people like Professor Carol Sikora, Carl Hennigan, Ivor Cummins, all kinds of very interesting, Mike Yeadon, Michael Levitt. But all you see for some inexplicable reason, you see Neil Ferguson all the time. You see Neil Ferguson being wheeled out. What a discredited, what a load of things he's got wrong in the past. But I would like to see some other people, other voices. And the other person they wheel out all the time is Devi Sridhar, who just negates everything and fearmongers and doommongers. And so I don't know. I feel there isn't enough balance. And I don't want to give my opinions on things. That's not a BBC journalist's job at all. The job is to give everything a fair hearing and let people make their own minds up with using the facts in front of them.
Well, that's certainly what I hope to do on this channel, is to interview people like you with a focus on the